Mm, 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 mm. Do, 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 do. Da, 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 da. Mm. As I was just came across this topic, and I thought it's quite sad. These poor kids. Um, it's very very sad that this could happen to these poor kids. I think this might be one of the reasons that for the anti-foreigner sentiment in South Africa. This is some of the reasons that I think South Africans are having anti-South African sentiment. I just came across this actually. I was just and I think it's really really sad. These poor kids. I think it's about 5 kids that were unalived because they ate some contaminated food from spaza shops. Spaza shops are like those talk shops, in South Africa, and they usually been owned by foreigners. And yes, I think I can see why South Africans might have anti-foreigner sentiments because I'm not sure you know how these so-called spaza shops are regulated, and things of that nature. But obviously, it seems that more needs to be done for the because yeah, I do understand why South Africans sometimes they have all these anti-foreigner sentiments. If foreigners are going to their countries and causing trouble and adding more to their problems, because I don't know what kind of food or contaminated food these people are selling that's affecting these children, because it's sad. This goes back to what I always say, that the South Africans authorities need to be more, they need to be stricter. They need to really enforce the laws, especially regarding foreigners, especially people that are committing crime. Because these spaza shops, I think they need to be regulated, because they're obviously not regulated if they actually selling things to poison young children. It's just really really sad because in a lot of countries there's a lot of regulations, especially when it comes to like food, sell by date, expiry dates and all that. But it seems in South Africa everything just because why are they allowed to sell this kind of food to the point that these poor innocent kids now eat this food and then they are unalived? Who is doing the enforcement? Who is doing the checks? Why are these so-called spaza shops allowed to sell all this food? I'm not sure how it works in South Africa, but I know in most countries, even in Nigeria, we have this NAFDAC that regulates the like products and food in general. They check your products to see if it meets certain standards, and if you found wanting, if it's discovered that your products are not fit for consumption, you can lose your license. You can even go to jail. So it's sad, that this spaza shops has done this to these people. So I need to know who actually regulates the food industry in South Africa, because this is really sad, and I totally understand why South Africans sometimes they have these foreigner sentiments, because you can't go to their country and do things that's going to harm their children and then expect them to hug you or to love you or to welcome you with open arms. It's just not possible, So it's really really sad, these are poor innocent children that they've lost their lives because they went to eat contaminated food. This is terrible, and this is why I think it still comes down to the South African authorities, the South African government. They need to do more. The South African, they need to do more to protect their people. They need to do more because obviously these people that are going to South Africa selling these expired goods, they don't care about the well-being or the safety of people. They don't care. All they try to do is just make money. They prepare to make money even if people are unalived. So that means that they have disregard for human safety. So it's up to the South African government to protect its people. The South African government needs to protect its people because how can you have shops that are selling food that is not fit for human consumption? So sometimes we as foreigners, people that are looking from the outside, we need to understand what South Africans are going through. We need to understand the anti-foreigner sentiments because sometimes, and I know sometimes it can be a bit dramatic. It can be a bit full of tensions and things of that nature. And at the end of the day, we need to understand that the South African people are trying to protect their own. They're trying to protect their children. They're trying to protect their own people. So we need to understand this because definitely this is some of the things that they complain about. If I'm not mistaken, they complain about these spaza shops in South Africa selling expired goods, selling contaminated goods. And I know because of the tensions we've had over the past few months, especially with Nigerians, I understand why a lot of us, especially Nigerians, we don't actually take the South Africans. I'm not saying we don't take them seriously, but I'm just saying while we have a lot of differences with them, I understand why. But then the truth of the matter is there is an element of truth to most of the things the South Africans are saying. And this is just a classic example. 5 children were unalived after eating contaminated food from spaza shops. So, there definitely needs to be more done in terms of the scrutiny, in terms of the enforcement. There needs to be stronger laws, stronger regulations regarding these spaza shops. I'm sure they're just operating like in a free mode. They're just doing what they like, with total disregard for human safety. Who knows what kind of things they're selling? They might be selling, who knows if they're even selling human flesh or whatever, because they're obviously not regulated. Because we just thought the South Africans didn't like the spaza shops because we thought that they just didn't like competition. A lot of us we assumed that South Africans don't like the spaza shops because because the South Africans just don't want foreigners to progress. But it seems there are deeper underlying issues, and this is just one of them. These spaza shops are selling expired products, so definitely they need to be controlled. Because you just can't go to a foreign land and then start doing things to harm children. Very, very sad, like these poor innocent kids. I don't understand how the makeup of South Africa, the Soweto, but it seems these spaza shops are more like I've read. So I for one, I don't. I for one, I'm not against South Africans for protecting their people. It's just the way they've done it in the past, and all this animosity and all this. But this is a classic example of why I think the South Africans have anti-foreign sentiments. Because obviously, as a people, any loving parent, you protect your children. You wouldn't want anything to harm your children. And that's just human nature. That's just this is not even about being xenophobic or anything. This is just human nature. I think Van Persie wants to say something.
Hey, good morning, King.
Van Persie wants to come. Good morning, Van Persie. How you doing, brother?
I am good, and you?
Yeah, not bad. I don't usually come on live this early, but I only just got my access back because my access got taken away for a week. Because some people reported my platform. But yeah, we're back. We're back now, and I just came across this story. Of these children that got unalived. It's really sad. Like as a father myself, I know how it's painful. Imagine your children being unalived in this way. Yeah, I just wanted to share some more light about spaza shops in South Africa. For us that are not in South Africa, what are these spaza shops, and what do they do, and why do people dislike them?
Spaza shops are part of the township economy. Wait, what the hell? Can you hear me, King?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you loud and clear.
Oh, yeah. Okay, spaza shops are part of the township economy. When we were segregated and separated from being part of the South African economy during the apartheid era, like we had to stock up on things and have a little shack, have a little shelter to sell things. We had spaza shop before, run by our own black people. Then our government has that policy of accepting refugees. So those Somalians and Ethiopians are sort of like refugees from countries that are unstable. So asylum seekers, they can establish any business they can. So this thing sort of like operated like a mafia. They came bit by bit, analyzed the market, lowered prices, started making credits, started making their own fake product, and printing packaging that seems legit. So that's what is happening. They push the black people out of the spaza shop market, the economy, by lowering prices, selling fake products and all that stuff. And now they are too much. Right here in my community, I'm surrounded with Ethiopian, Somalian spaza shops. But there is one black spaza. It's quite a distance to walk. I'd rather walk that distance and go buy from that black person spaza shop, so that I won't be at risk of of that food poisoning and all that stuff. And the government is supposed to be regulating that market. They're supposed to be food inspectors. As I'm in Soweto, I'm under City of Johannesburg. The city of Johannesburg has to have inspectors inspecting food from spaza shop and supermarkets like Pick n Pay, like ShopRite, like any place that deals with food and selling of food items, supposed to have inspectors inspecting. And if food is not safe for consumption, shut down the place or revoke the business license, or any other stuff. But our government is not doing this. It is a jungle out here. That's what we've been saying in this platform. I know we've been talking to some foreigners. They've been insulting us, and they be saying names. We'll be talking to other South Africans defending the foreigners. They've been insulting us, calling us names. But look at the faces of these children. When you insult us, when you're calling us typical stupid, when you're calling us dudula, when you say we don't read, look at these faces. All along, we're trying to protect the our children. But since law enforcement is not working, since it's a jungle out there, yeah, I've got no other choice but to do what our grandparents and parents did to people who were spy for the apartheid police, which was gifting them a necklace with fiery qualities. And I know that is illegal, but we got no other choice. No one is protecting us.
Thanks for that, explanation, Van Persie. So, in this particular instance, what was done to the owners of these spaza shops? Have they been arrested? And how did these children actually come, across this? Were the parents the ones that bought the food, or was it the children themselves? Can you tell us more about that?
No, I'm sure the children got lunch money to go to school with their parents. Then after school, you get the money that you buy food to the lunch money. It came and and then and then and then they after school they go to those pasha shops to buy the snacks, the chips, the sweets and stuff. Because you know how children are. Yeah, that's what happened. Couldn't what was
Me,
the
I
other
think this is even
question?
more dangerous
Yeah,
than
yeah, yeah,
the
yeah,
other
yeah.
issue
Hello.
because
What happened?
Hello.
What happened to the owners?
Hello.
Oh, sorry,
hello,
They were
Manando, how are you doing?
I'm good. Okay, you can tell me to speak now, ne?
yeah.
If you discuss that.
Let me finish first.
Yes, you can,
The shop was shut
you can
down.
add your contribution now. Yes.
The shop was shut down, and the owners were taken someplace else. They were escorted by the police, protected by the police from the community, because we tend to take things into our own hands. So yeah, the shop was shut down, but I know they're gonna come back. It's gonna be business as usual. We're trying to prevent that. Because things like that happen, the shop shuts down, the police escorts them to immigration or I don't know what, deport them, but they come back after 2 months.
That's very sad. That's very, very bad, actually. I just hope, the people that did this, that selling these things, they dealt with, with the full force of the law. Manando, do you want to add your own contributions?
How's it say? How's it?
Yes. Good morning. How are
Hello.
you doing?
Can you hear me?
Hello,
Can you
Manando.
hear me?
Yes, I can.
Yes.
I can hear you
What?
loud and clear. I can hear you. Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. What is your question, bruh?
So basically, I'm talking about these children. I came across this story about these children that bought some contaminated food from these spaza shops. I just wanted you to share your experience of these spaza shops and why a lot of South Africans don't seem to like them. And because I know a lot of South Africans have been complaining about these spaza shops. Just tell me what you know about spaza shops and why you think they're a problem in your country.
Okay, my guy. About that case, my guy. What I can say, my guy, to you, ne? Mina, according to me, what I think, because I don't think Somalians they can poison their customers. That's what I think. I think there is someone that is a South African that is trying by all means to put these people on danger. Understand? So for me, I don't think it's a Somalian who did that. For me, according to me, understand? Because you can't poison snakes. Understand? How do you poison a snake? Understand? That's what my problem is. So I think there is a South African that is behind this. Like those guys for Tutula, I think there is one of them that is behind of these things that is happening now. Understand? It's what I think. That's all, my brother. Thank you.
Okay, so you think there are South Africans that are deliberately doing this just to break some tension and to make people go against foreigners? Is that what you're saying?
That's true, my brother. You must understand the politics of South Africa, how it works. Understand? Hello.
Okay.
Hello.
That's a very important take. That's a very interesting take. Yeah, I can hear you. I said that's very interesting.
Yes.
That the fact that you think it's South Africans that are behind this. That's a very, very interesting
Can I
your
ask you,
point of
my
view.
brother? Can I ask
Okay,
you, my
let's
brother?
go to.
Can I ask
Yes,
you
ask.
something? If you have a business, if
Go
you
ahead.
have a
Go ahead.
business, no, if you have a business yourself, you are selling sweets, you are selling chips, you are selling all those things. Can you poison your customers? Yeah.
If no, I wouldn't. Of course, I won't. I won't poison my customers. No way. Because I want
So
my
why
business
Somalians?
to do well. I want to get more sales, and I want to make more money.
Yeah. So why Somalians they can poison the people that they are buying those things? Who's gonna buy if they kill everybody? If they unalive everybody? You get what I'm saying?
That's a good question. That's a good question. But I think that's a question for the Somalian, the spaza shop owners to answer, and also the South African authorities. That's a question for them to answer as well. You know.
Good morning. Good morning.
Anyways, let's go to Kyle. Kyle, morning, Kyle.
Good morning. Morning.
Nice for you to be back. Nice for us to be back.
Yes, it's nice to be back, guys. It's nice to be back. Welcome back. 'Cause even though we're starting off on a sad note, it's very sad to see people, South Africans like Manando, to say things like this. It's very, very sad. And this is not an attack to foreign nationals or Somalians, but even in our fight with Nigerians, we've always said that, listen, we've got this problem with this group. The fact that there was a Somalian yesterday in Kenny West's live that actually confirmed, guys, I have the recording, that they actually do that in retaliation because of they are being looted. They actually poison the kids. We've owned
Are you for
spaza
real?
shops before.
Are you for real, Kylie?
I'm for real. I'm for real, guys. I'm for real. I even complained about it this morning to say that I don't understand how South Africans are even still on that live when that user is unapologetic. He said he's Somalian and he wouldn't even hesitate to even delete any kid. He even made a reference because of he's tired of being looted, And let me tell you, guys, Dudula is not in all locations. It's just in Soweto. Operation Dudula. It's just in Soweto. What about the kids from other provinces? Are they also unalived by Operation Dudula, Manando, whether you think? And these things, they don't start happening now. They've been happening. These things have been happening in our communities. And we've owned spaza shops before as South Africans. I come up here and I tell you guys, I was raised by spaza shops. Why when we were owning these spaza shops, we had no such incidences at all? Anybody that has an incident of kids being deleted like this due to spaza shop items when they were owned by us as South Africans, it must come up. Somalian people were on Kenny's live yesterday confirming. They are saying it's because of we loot their stores. And that guy was even proud, and his group of friends was saying that ever since they adopted this method, we have stopped looting from them. So we need to really, really look. I see Baz. I don't support any Somalian shop. I can tell you that now, because ever since their existence, I've personally had a gripe with them, King, only because of my aunt I was raised by my aunt, because of my mother was in teaching school, by the way. While growing up, she was at the teaching college. I was raised by my aunt who ran a spaza shop as a widower, and how we were taken out of business. We were taken out of business in the most cruelest ways by Somalians. We didn't close business. They took us out in the most cruel way because we used to be targeted. So this topic for me is very sensitive, guys. It's very, very sensitive because of I'm one of the people that can say that the spaza shops that were owned by South Africans didn't just magically disappeared. We used to get robberies day in and day out and threats from them, the ones that are now operating at the corner house of my aunt street. So I'm not claiming that it's them. Hence, I've never supported them because of the way they were threatening us. So for me, I don't even support. I'd rather starve, guys, than to support those people. I'd rather starve than to buy from those shops. I'm telling you guys now. We've never had such occurrences when these spaza shops were owned by South Africans, King, and that is a fact. They've been carte blanche.
I don't support anybody doing crime. Kyle, I don't support anybody doing crime. But then when I hear you say that these people said they did this in retaliation of their shops getting looted, that is terrible. Anybody that doesn't have regard for human life, that person is worse than a terrorist. That's really, really bad. I don't support people looting people's shops, but you shouldn't now, do this and poison food, because people looted your shop. It's terrible. Also, Kylie, what do you think that needs to be done, in terms of enforcement when it comes to these spaza shops? Do you think the South African authorities are not doing enough? Because it seems that these people are just being, given the chance to operate, as they like. So what do you think needs to be done?
Unfortunately, it's a learning curve for South Africans. In the past, spaza shops, there was no need for spaza shops to be regulated, because we didn't have such incidences, and spaza shops would just feed like the community, the small community. Hence, not much attention was given to spaza shops as they would with your ShopRites and Pick n Pay. Remember, if you're talking bigger scales entities, we are talking about food that is holistically distributed and which is accessed by many, many people. So there wasn't a need before to regulate and do health checks on spaza shops because of our spaza shop, the traditional spaza shops. It's not the spaza shops that is now existing in today's society. The spaza shops then, King, I'm just giving you a bit of context, never used to have even a hair relaxer. They were essentially just made to provide essential goods, your everyday goods, just your bread, your tin fish, your fast moving items, not these non-perishables that we are seeing, even a Pampers now being sold in a spaza shop. So now that we've gone to that route, I think the officials, the South African government, must now use harsher and stricter measures to regulate spazas, even though it's going to really burden the local market. But now that they've magnified to this magnitude, we need to take that stance now. Like I said, before, the spaza shops only provided your fast-moving items, little items that didn't require regulating. Now that these spaza shops have been something else, as spaza shops, it sells even like paraffin. Before, a spaza shop would be a spaza shop and someone else would just sell a paraffin separately. You wouldn't find a spaza shop that sells food selling paraffin at the same time. So I think now we need stricter measures to do that. And Manando, you can't, no South African would unalive their generation in a way of retaliation. No South African would ever do that, my brother. We don't even have a history of unaliving kids. I landed that, King. Hi, inspiring. Hi.
Manando, do you want to? Manando, do you want to respond to Kylie's suggestion that South Africans will not unalive their own, because Manando, if you just join in, Manando said, he believes that South African people are behind this, that they want actually, doing this just to, make people have anti-foreign resentments, anti-foreigner resentments. But Kylie doesn't share that opinion with you, Manando. What do you want to say about that?
No, I agree with Kyle. We can't unalive our people, our children, understand? But they must know in South Africa, we've been used by white people. That's the truth. Even if they like it or not, all the agenda that is happening in Africa, in South Africa, is sponsored by white people. So we've been used by white people. If you go and investigate nice, you can find out there is some white people behind all those things, understand? Because what I don't get, they say those things are poisonous. After that, people, they went and loot those things, and they eat those things, but they're not dead, understand? That's what I don't understand myself. Thank you, sir.
I just have one question. Have you ever seen any Somalian eat their food? Because they never even eat their own food themselves. They'll be there sitting with bread, but they will go and to you save and buy bread. Have you ever seen a Somalian who eats the food they sell? I'm literally being very honest in my and
Yeah.
giving an honest answer.
For me, I saw them before. I saw them before. For me, I don't know about you, understand? I can't talk up for yourself, but for me, I used to see them. They are eating their chips that they are making in their shops, understand? So I used to see them eating their food. Thank you.
Thank you, Manando. I think I can't also argue with your experience. For me, I've never seen any Somalian eat anything that they sell in their shops, ever. I've never.
I have a question for every South African defending them. Is the economy of South Africa, can it sustain all of Africa? And also, is South Africa in a position to take in refugees from people who are from countries that are in danger? Like, let's ask ourselves. Let's be honest with ourselves. Can South Africa sustain the whole of Africa? And are we in the position to take in refugees and become a charity case?
Van Persie, with due respect, I don't want us to change the kind of like direction of this live, because the title is just Dispersed Shops and also the unfortunate events of these poor children. I don't want us to deviate too much. So let's go to Inspiring Stories. I think she's here, to share our own contributions. You're welcome, Inspiring.
Hi, King. Welcome back. Good to have you back. Hi, everyone on the panel. Hi, everyone.
Yes, thank you. I've missed you guys. I missed you all.
Yeah, so my opinion is a bit, I think, controversial on either side. So my thing is that I think as Africans, we need to be educated on the price of cheap goods, just in terms of the consequences of cheap goods, right? Because when Somalia started, right, they started they first started in a smart way where they banded together, right, and then they bought things in bulk. That's how they cut costs. But if you look at it from a business angle, then they realize, okay, let's produce, right? So then they decided, okay, let's produce and cut out the middleman. That happens, and that's happening more and more in a lot of industries as a business decides to cut costs, right? And then what you will have then when you cut out the middleman, you save costs. But then in the manufacturing, the way that they manufacture, they don't look at safety standards, and Somalis by regard themselves. I think King, maybe you would know, even in Pan-African circles, the Somalis are very known to have an anti-black sort of sentiment. It's not just South African, but a general around the continent. Even a lot of Pan-Africanist movements know that Somalis don't regard themselves as black. They even have a slur calling us Jeers, right? So when you manufacture for people who you deem less, you don't even take into account safety standards. So that's what they did. So now obviously you basically going to charge next to nothing in terms of the goods that you're supplying, right? So Somalis have found that that works, and we've had deaths prior when it comes to this. And even when we did have deaths, people were outraged for a second, and life moved on. There was shots of Somalis. People were selling in the shops. King, I don't know if you saw this, but this is like circulating among South Africans. They were selling water in the spaza shop, right? And as they were selling water in the spaza shops, the water was coming from a toilet pot. That toilet pot was filthy. I wish if I can find that video, I'll tag you on it. And people still
That's
allowed these
disgusting. That's
people
really
to operate.
disgusting.
If like you see now when you see you thinking of a toilet pot in your mind, nah, you think oh, toilet pot disgusting. If I tell you how filthy that toilet pot where the water was coming from, you'd actually be shocked that it was actually something that was real. People saw that, people said nothing. So and I went onto a different live not too long ago where this guy was talking about how South Africans are begging in some of the spaza shops that have closed. The Africans are begging them to come back because of the fact that the spaza shops they are not filled. So my point is that even if South Africans open those spaza shops, you can never replicate those prices because those prices that they had as Somalians were like you can't operate legally and recreate those prices, if you get what I'm saying. So what you'll find down the line is that people will say, "Oh, we'll miss those prices," but that's how those prices came about. Nobody can legally do those things. Even if they decide to manufacture on their own, they'll still need to have a sanitized building, and have health and safety inspectors. So I think there needs to be that conversation that, look, these people are not serving in the best interest of the community. But no South African is ever going to be able to replicate those prices, not because South Africans don't have business acumen, but because of the fact that at the end of the day, those practices were unethical. And you cannot, that's the price of cheap goods, is people dying, and people those rock bottom prices is children dying. So until the community accepts that, then that is how, number one, you're going to have those issues. And two, this is supposed to be, people are supposed to come in and stop it and say, no, it's enough, these people can't operate a spaza shop. Like the community was supposed to step in, but still you still have like 1,001 spaza shops going around being operated by Somalis. The community is supposed to step in, and the government is also required. But I do think that I don't know how many deaths is it gonna take for the community to intervene in a very decisive way and saying we'll have 0 spaza shops owned by Somalis in the community, and we will create our own spaza shops. So it's a two-way street, right? Because if people weren't allowed to get away with murder, which is literally what is happening, because these aren't the first people to die in a spaza shop, then maybe even those people would even have like a sense that these people care about themselves and they care about the people around them. So for me, I put the blame 50-50. So like both on the community and the people who run these things and who are allowed to get away with impunity, and who even feel like it's okay to poison people. It's disgusting. So, but for me, unfortunately, I cannot blindly just put the blame on one side. It's both. Until the families and the men of those families of those communities stand up and say, we will not have this, or we will not even risk it for the sake of a couple of extra cents, then it's never going to change. And for our government to actually do something, because those inspectors are supposed to be working, those are people that we pay. At the end of the day, we pay those people to go and do the safety inspections and to enforce, but they're not doing it. So like there's failures on a couple of fronts for this, and we're gonna have this, and we're gonna continue to have this until those things are resolved and are sorted out. But I know that there are organizations that are appealing to government, I've seen Count Me and wrote a letter to government, but yeah, this would never have happened if the community had stood up after the first couple of incidences where, people are being poisoned and children are dying, and we can't afford to have children dying. That's the next generation. And there've been rumors that these people also distribute things with those stores, but the communities aren't doing as they should be doing as well to stop this. So people will continue to do what they want.
Yes, thank you, inspiring. I think it's very, very important, as us that are, outside look at the in the at the outside looking in, that we understand some of these issues in South Africa. I know the past couple of weeks, months, whatever, we have been having our differences, especially, with us Nigerians. But then I think sometimes we just need to step back and just look, with an open mind, and say there's an element of truth in some of what these people are saying, what South Africans are saying, because this is a clear example. Because we just thought South Africans were just against foreigners and opening all these spaza shops, and but then the reality is that some of these spaza shop owners are actually doing more harm than good. So that's why sometimes as people on the outside, we need to give South Africans a chance. Not just South Africans, but I think as Africans, if we have any grievances with another set of people, we need to give them an open mic to be able to hear their views. I know a lot of frustrations, and the animosity has been brewing over the past few months, but this is just an example of there's always truth in whatever people are saying, and it's really, really bad. And like you said, the South African authorities, they need to do more in terms of the enforcement, because for example, in Nigeria, we have NAFDAC that they check, like like goods, they check foods to make sure that they're fit for consumption, and you see how big our population is. But then this now, there are people in Nigeria that make Coca-Cola, they make Coke in their own backyard. They make Hennessy, they make Jack Daniels, they mix it in their own bedroom. They make water, in their own, in their own bedroom. And these are things that are very dangerous to society. And we have NAFDAC, even though they try, but still, it's like a losing battle. But then they still try to do the enforcement. And I think it's very, very important that South Africa can also do this as well. Anyways, let's go to the next speaker. Mate, are you there? How do you actually say your name, Mate? I always see you in the comments. I've never actually seen you in the panel.
Oh yeah, you said it right, Maite. Yeah.
Okay,
I
Mate.
just
Okay, welcome. Welcome.
Thank you very much, King. It is nice to speak to you directly today. Actually, I got interested because a month or so ago, my sister became victim of those shops. But lucky enough, because she's an adult, she didn't die, but she ended up in casualty in the hospital, treated because they drank a Coca-Cola from one of these spaza shops run by foreigners in Leboahomo. So herself and two friends decided to buy Coca-Cola from one of those shops at lunchtime, and they drank that Coca-Cola. At the end of when they were about to finish the bottle, there was a plastic package inside the bottle. We're still waiting for the investigation and toxicology report from that substance that was inside the Coca-Cola bottle. It was this 2-liter bottle. So my sister ended up in the hospital with her colleagues, 2 colleagues. They spent like 3 nights in the hospital because of drinking Coca-Cola. But the way they were so sick, if they were children, they would have died. But because they were adults, their body was able to sustain the whatever poison was in that drink. So I think it's just the fact that there should be a campaign for making people aware of these things, and people must just take their own initiative and stop buying from those unregistered spaza shops. They are very dangerous. You know, I'm talking about my own sister, I mean blood sister, who was admitted in the hospital. I think it was early September. In Luwahomo, they were admitted in one of the hospitals there because she works there. So they are very dangerous. I just wanted to share that as parents and community people in the society, we just have to make a decision to tell our children not to buy things from those shops. Even when my sister bought, they were just innocent. It was just easy access, you know, a corner shop there. You can go and buy something quickly and come and drink. So that's what they did. And at the end of, when they were about to finish the drink, that's when they realized that there was a plastic package inside that bottle. They don't know what is it. I didn't call my sister to check if the hospital have produced the result of the test that they made from that drink and that plastic package that was found inside the bottle. So that's all what I wanted to share.
Yes, yes. I just wanted to throw another, I think we had a speaker earlier on and he made this interesting comment. He said he believes that South Africans are heavily involved in, the poisoning of these foods. That he thinks the South Africans are doing it just in a way, to spite foreigners, to make people have anti-foreign sentiments. And I can see, I said Palisa in the comments as well. She also thinks, there's more to it than just, the foreigners. See, she also, Palisa, is it? Yeah. Go ahead.
Let me just quickly respond to that. If I go to the shop, I pick up a bottle from a lot of bottles and pay it innocently. I mean, who will be the South African that will go and open that bottle and put something in somebody else's shop? I know that the shop that my sister bought the drink, it was not a South African person who was owning that shop. It was one, maybe Somali. I cannot say Somali, but it was one of the people from outside the country. Those spaza shops that are run everywhere in the townships and villages. So I do not believe, unless if the owner of the shop is a South African or the South African is one of the workers in the shop, how will I, as just a member of the community, manage to go in the shop and poison the food? Either the food is poisoned from production side, or the person who's selling them that manipulate it somehow. Many years ago, because I'm not young, I was studying in Bloemfontein. I'm a nurse by profession. I was doing my nursing training. There were occasionally we'll have a group of people coming from the train. We have this long train that operates from Johannesburg to Eastern Cape. So most of the Eastern Cape men take that train overnight, and then they pass by Bloemfontein station where they change from the electric train to coal one. So every time when that train came to Bloemfontein, there will be a lot of casualties coming to casualty where I worked, where I was studying. They will come drugged. When they wake up, you ask them what happened. These people who sell, we have these people who sell the stuff in the train with a little trolley on the long haul trains, and then they will actually put drugs in the cans of the cold drink cans, and then sell to these men. And when the men start sleeping, they will steal all the money. At the time, they used to work in Johannesburg for a long time. They put their money in somewhere, and then they carry the whole bunch of money to Eastern Cape. So at that time, those men in the train, those guys who were selling the things in the train, they will poison those drinks with drugs, and then the poor men will drink innocently because they are going far. and then at the end of the day, they come to a casualty with nothing. All the money gone. They don't know what happened to them. They'll come there and sleep maybe for 2 days, and we'll give them IV treatment in order to keep them alive. And then when they wake up, we ask them what happened. They will say, "Oh, I drank a little bit of Coca-Cola, and then I just fell asleep." And they will be starting to search themselves. "Oh, I had so much money in my pocket. All the money is gone." So somebody who's got direct access to those drinks is the one who's putting those poisonous stuff in the drinks. So there's no way I can just walk in your shop and poison a drink. I have to have direct access. So if the spaza shops belongs to South African, a South African person sold those poisonous food to the kids, I will believe that he's the one who did that. But if they drank or they ate from a Somali spaza shop, Somali spaza shop owner is the one who knows where the food come from, who's the product, where was the food produced, and how the standard of production. It's not something. I mean, you can have food poisoning, but not to a death. There's something wrong. I think the animosity between the foreigners and the South African can lead to these people being angry and poisoning stuff and killing our children. I don't think that a South African can just go in somebody's spaza shop and start poisoning the food. It's not true. It's not true. I mean, I'm telling you the story. At that time, we didn't have foreigners. Those guys who work in the train, they were South Africans, but they were poisoning these people to take their money. They were not killing them. They were putting enough for you to sleep, and then you wake up after 2 days, and then when you wake up, you got nothing. That's what is right happening. So because of this fight between the foreigners and the people of South Africa, some people with deranged minds might decide to do this as a retaliation. A retaliation that, okay, they think they are clever, but they are eating our food. They are very stupid. That's the truth. My sister and her friends, colleagues, almost died. If a woman, a fully grown woman, could sleep flat in the hospital bed after drinking a Coca-Cola from a spaza shop, that if it was a child of the same age as these kids, they would have died. I don't know. I'll search for the video one day. I'll share to you, King, if you accept it. I'll share the video of my sister explaining and showing the bottle. It's there on TikTok, but I didn't save it on my record. But I will look for it, and then I'll share the Coca-Cola. They took a picture, a video of the Coca-Cola, the video of themselves in the hospital. So it's not a South African who's doing this form of retaliation. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't
Okay.
think. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you. Done.
Thank you, Mighty. Let's go back round again. Let's go to Van Persie and hear if he has any more thoughts to share regarding this conversation. Van Persie, over to you.
Yeah, I agree with Sister Inspiring. Half of the blame goes to us because we're enabling this thing to keep happening. And actually, I know here in Soweto where I work, I know one of their warehouse or their wholesalers where they stock, where every tuck shop of the Somalis and the Ethiopian stock. Even I've seen black people stocking from there. Like I want to get in contact with someone so that we can investigate that those warehouses, those cash and carries, because I know enough is enough. I've decided enough is enough. Like I've stopped supporting those people a long time ago, and not doing anything could lead to more unalivings. It could lead to worse disasters, and we were actually even blaming the landlords, the mastandi, the people who are renting the spaces for those people to sell, and also we came up with a possible solution to gift them necklaces with fiery qualities and also baptize their house with the Holy Ghost fire in the name of Jesus. Amen. But yeah, we need to take initiative as South Africans to protect our kids. It's not that we hateful. We're acting like animals. We protect our youngins. We protect ourselves. When a snake is threatened, he will strike with his venom, and escape. Yeah, I'll end right there.
I think I'm next. I'm just going to answer Palesa. Palesa, there's always been deaths, no, granted, but deaths related to food poisoning of spaza shops. That's what I'm talking about. You know what? This is very upsetting to me, King, that you find South Africans, and I'm going to talk to South Africans because of this is affecting us. I was on a platform. It was as if I was sensing that something like this was going to make headlines. And I talked about this to say that we are experiencing these things daily. Just because of they are not reported, it's not that they are not happening. I even said that, and South Africans, funny enough, they were arguing with me to say, no, I'm lying. This we know very well, and I agree with Inspiring. Our people must learn, must not support these shops. But then again, if we don't support, we are xenophobic. Do you understand? It's like as if we are cursed as South Africans at this point. We are cursed. There's nothing that will please people. Do you understand, King? Nothing will please. When we cry, we are xenophobic. But when we say don't support, we don't like them. You don't like that. Yes, and I didn't say it's millions. I said it's mass. It's mass. That's exactly what I said. Chris Manuel, I said it's mass unaliving, because this is happening daily. Go every week. There is a funeral, depending where you stay, and this is a touching topic. I wouldn't just thumbsuck this because of it's foreigners. This is unaliving, guys. We wouldn't just make these stories up, and it's sickening, honestly, coming to TikTok, and you're finding people making jokes, and it's not an exaggeration. People that live here, they will know. People that live Kokasi, they will know how many funerals, how people that go to these schools. My mother is a teacher, guys, in a public school. If I tell you, King, the reports that come, Maite is absolutely true as a nurse. If I tell you the stories that they are dealing with, you will not be shocked. And Palesa, again, just because of you don't know about it, it's not that it's not reported. You don't take time, you South Africans like Palesa, to go and find the information. Information is not going to come to you. You have to go find the information for you to know about it. It's reported, it's there. King, in I even said on that platform, if you go to any of our grave sites and you ask, they have a book. If you ask, and how we bury people, I'm not sure if that's how it's done in Nigeria. When you bury people, there's a section for kids. There's an allocated section for just kids. Kids are not buried together with adults. And you ask at your local municipality a report of cause of death, they will tell you. So South African acting ignorant here, acting like we are crazy when we are telling them, and they want the information to follow them when we are saying, tell us about the numbers. Go find the numbers, it's there. It's there. You go to the relevant sites, do your own research. Why should information follow you? We need to do something, guys. Our officials need to step up. Spaza shops, they were not regulated before, but now there's a need. We've seen now that there's a need. I repeat, none of these things were happening when these shops were owned by South Africans. And it goes back to what Inspiring said. There's a cost to cheap goods, And to the South African defense, I also understand it's not always practical to go buy at ShopRite, because some of them don't even afford to go outside Okasi. So the situation is also forced. They have no choice. What can they do? You know, they live by the grace of God. South Africans on that panel, they were asking, yeah, but how would they have known those things would be eaten by kids? Maite explained nicely, you can't compare an immune system of an adult to an immune system of a child. And also, I don't see an adult buying a Zoom for him for herself to drink Zoom. So some things are targeted to kids because they are marketed for kids, even as kids products. So for having debates with adults to say, but how did you know? I feel like it's downplaying the head. You see, when we're talking about unaliving, guys, this is very serious. It's very serious. It's very sad. And it literally breaks my heart because until how many others? Is this not a massacre? Is this not an indirect massacre of the Black population? No, I'm very upset, guys, but I'll land at that.
Thank you,
Okay,
Kyle.
thank you. Yep. Go ahead, Nobantu.
Yeah, thank you, Kyle, and to everybody who has submitted. But in my view is that South Africans, we deserve this. We deserve this to happen to us because it's not like we are not aware of what has been happening. It's not the first incident that, we've had kids being unalived because of food, because of powder, because of human trafficking, because of many other social ills that are happening in our country. As South Africans, we deserve this because it's not the first time that we are hearing insults online in our streets of people that we have welcomed to our homes, to our country, to our spaces, people that we have taken as brothers, people that we identify with because of the pain of maybe wars in their countries, of hopelessness, of poverty. We understood, we welcomed people, we didn't have a problem with them. As South Africans, we are the ones who support foreigners in our country. They will not survive without us. We are the buying power. We are the ones who enable this situation to happen. We are the ones who accept bribes. We are the ones who do not do our role. We are the ones who allow us to be captives in our country. They must continue to poison our kids so that we will understand. They must continue to unalive us. They must continue to sell powder to our children because we do not care, because we are divided. They have seen that we do not care. They have seen that we are weak. They have seen that we are and they clap hands for us because they understand that we are the problem. We are the ones who enable this situation. We are the ones who are stupid. We are the ones who do not want to hear the truth. We welcome people who do not want us. We are the ones who support their businesses. Without us, they won't be able to survive. We do have the power, but we do not want to use it. We are not angry enough. They must continue. Let them continue to sell powder to our children. Let them continue to sell us food that is expired, food that is unhealthy, food that is laced with poison, so that our minds can open up. Let us continue to bury our children so that we can understand that they mean business. We must bury them week in and week out so that we can understand what we have welcomed to our shores. They must continue to open lives and insult us each and every day. They must continue to tell our men that they are stupid and they are weak and they are alcoholics. They must continue to call us as showers with huge S's that can't even wipe. They must continue to tell us to our faces, it is the truth. We are stupid. We are lazy. We cannot think because we are divided. We must continue to bury our loved ones. We must continue to see our cities turn into slums because we don't want to face the truth. They must open lives and tell us to our faces up until we understand. Let us allow Abokeni and all of them to come from their countries to tell us how stupid, how weak, how ignorant we are, because that is the truth. We are having asylum seekers from countries that are not at war. We allow it to happen. When it comes the time to vote, we do not vote for parties that will stand for us. We are too divided. Let them continue. They must continue to feed powder to our children. They must continue to unalive us. Let them continue to turn our young ladies into jolofinas because we deserve it. Let them continue to marry our sisters for KFC because they allow it. Let them continue to misuse our documents all over the world and misrepresent South Africans because we allow it. We are the problem. If we do not want to face the truth, go to OLTV, to this platform, to Kenny's Live, to hear how they talk and feel about us. They are making us strong, so let us accept it. Us here so that our conscience can go strong, so that we can understand and be able to do the right thing. Let us continue to hear them tell us how stupid, how weak, how illiterate, how stupid and how useless we are. Let us continue to hear them. It is the truth. We have allowed the situation to happen. We are the ones financing their businesses. Without us going to their salons, they have no income. Without us buying from their businesses, they have no income. But because we are stupid, we continue to allow them. Let them continue what they are doing so that we can understand what we are dealing with.
Okay, Nobanso, thank you. That was a powerful submission there with some powerful, words. Thank you for your contribution. Let's go to the governor's wife. The governor's wife, you're welcome.
Hi, King. Thank you for having me. You know what? I don't think I have much to say after what Nobantu has said, and actually, you know what? We are exhausted, as South Africans. We are tired, and in everything that she said, I agree with her 1,000, 1,000,000%, we dingle and dangle in different lives. We also come to your life as well, but the amount of disrespect we get from your lives, it's horrendous. It's mind blowing. It's a lot, and it's quite sad because I'm sitting here, I'm thinking, our government has like a huge role, like a whole hand at play in all of this. Because when you look at it, in everything that Nobantu has said, he hasn't said anything. Months and months and months, people are holding these lives and there's no solution. People are even instigating things, it's black on black hate, it's xenophobic. Like, there are so many words. And when you look at these words were created by the Mzungus, not us. It was created by them. But where are they in all of this mess? They are nowhere to be found. The same Zungus that will open restaurants in our country and employ illegal immigrants. What do you call that? It's I don't know. And this topic about the kids, I'm just thinking, actually, it's a question. I want to know, maybe somebody can answer me. Is this the price we are paying as South Africans for ending apartheid? Because that's how far I've actually managed to think, like, way back. These people are still angry. Let me tell you, these people are still angry. The Mzungus are still actually angry at us, and they will never let go. Instead, they will hire people, illegal migrants, come to our country and actually hire them instead of South Africans. Because It's a lot, hey? It's heavy. I think this is the price we are paying. Our kids are dying. This is the price that we are paying because their kids are not buy into these bazaar shops. They go to private schools, they go overseas, they go, that's where they study. They are not being affected by this. And to be honest, guys, we love you. You guys are African sisters and brothers, but the hate, it's alarming right now. And look at it. Look at the bigger picture. There's no Mzungus here. There's no Mzungu that is opening lives. They are living comfortable lives. There's no Mzungus that goes and open political parties. There's only one Mzungu political party in SA, which is competing with our current black and gold whatever party. But they are comfortable. They are folding their hands. They are watching the news in their luxury mansions and looking at us and actually laughing at these black whatever things. It's I think as South Africans, because our government, the main guy, is quiet for a reason. That's why he's quiet. Now we are fighting amongst each other. We are calling each other names, xenophobic, jolofinas. I mean, it's havoc, it's chaos, it's chaotic. Now ask yourself this question. If our government was able to put strict measures during COVID, why is he not intervening now? Why is he letting us open stupid lives like this and trying to raise awareness, only to end up fighting amongst each other about borders, about this, about that, Listen, I'm exhausted at this point. Like, I don't see the need. At first, I thought it was just raising awareness, but no, it's just raising more hate, black on black. It's going somewhere, and the Mzungus are proud. The Mzungus are happy. This is the new apartheid, by the way. Thank you.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Governor's wife, for
I
your submission. I think Nobanto is back. Yeah, Nobanto, go ahead.
yes, I thank you, Governor's wife, for your submission. But as a South African, as South Africans, we are a multicultural people who are united in diversity. And we welcome people of different heritage, of cultures, of backgrounds. And the problems that we are facing as Black South Africans, it is the problems that the Mzungu South African is also facing. Terfontein, Hillbrow, Randfontein, Vereeniging, a lot of places in our country, Point in Durban, a lot of places, those were places where Mzungus were staying, even Randburg in Johannesburg, Kempton Park. That is where the Mzungus were staying. The problem of substance abuse or powdering is also affecting Mzungu South Africans, just like it is affecting Black South Africans. If there is a guy, there are lives where Mzungus are also talking about the challenges we are having as South Africans, because this is a South African problem. It is not a black or a white problem. It is a South African problem that affects all South Africans. It is not the Mzungus who go to the saloons of the people that are unaliving us. It is not the Mzungus who give people a place to rent in our townships. We are the ones doing it, and we must take responsibility and accountability for our role in this problem. It is us who support these businesses. It is not the Mzungus. It is us who sell our IDs, marry people for 500 rand, for 200 rand for KFC. It is not the Mzungus. It is us who allow this situation to happen. And it is us who can break the cycle. It is because we are the ones who are responsible for it. We are the ones who go and lie to public officials and put the children of these people in schools, give them letters so that they can go and attend. It is us who enable this situation to happen. So they must continue to powder our children. They must us. They must continue to clap hands for us. They are showing us how stupid we are, and we must learn from it.
We must be able to identify our real enemy. Let us not be divided by race. We are South Africans under one flag, that is South Africa. No DNA, RSA. That is what it means. So as South Africans, if we want to take sides, it's okay, let us take sides. If you want to blame them Zungu, it's okay. Them Zungu is the one in Naledi who is selling rat poisoned food to our children. If we want to blame them Zungu, it's fine, let us blame them Zungu. It is them Zungu who arrives with pangas, machetes in our cities. It is them Zungu who is the one that is robbing us in Johannesburg. We cannot walk because the Zungu is chasing us, robbing us, unaliving us for a pair of shoes, for a cell phone. It is them Zungu. It is them Zungu's fault that we cannot walk in our own cities. It is them Zungu's fault that we cannot enjoy the gains of our democracy. It is them Zungu. It is because we don't have the land. That is why we cannot walk. That is why our children are being sent to be mules all over the world. It is because of them Zungu. We don't have land. It is the land that is making us go all over the world to go and get powder, distributed to our own people. It is them Zungu that is the one that is saying we must give people our IDs so that they can make fake bank accounts and commit money laundering. It is them Zungu that says that we must marry people for money and give them our country. It is them Zungu's fault. It is them Zungu who is dividing us. Let us blame them Zungu. Tina, we are just the victims.
Okay, thank you, Nobantu. I think we've got about 7 minutes left on the live. So I just want anyone, the rest of the panel to speak, just 2 minutes each. Let's start from,
I want to
I think
contribute
Inspiring.
on
Yeah, Inspiring,
the.
you can go ahead.
Yeah, I haven't contributed. So just on the issue of poisoning, right? So what Kali is saying obviously has merit because that is what she knows and that is what has been said, right? But so I don't want to seem like I'm discounting that. So I'm taking this also from a different stance. Is that if you have you ever bought something at a place where they said be careful, it might contain traces of nuts, because some people are allergic to nuts, and then if it's made in the same factory, you can have that. And then also what I've also come across is that it was actually late last month. I buy these freeze-dried fruit from Woolies. It's got like blueberries and all these things, and I buy it consistently. And then I bought it once, and I was like, this thing tastes like biltong," and I was just laughing with myself. I'm like, they probably freeze-dried the biltong in that, there was probably drying of the biltong somewhere there, because it literally tasted like I was eating blueberries covered in biltong. But the point is that is why there are safety standards, and what those those illegal manufacturing processes, they're not using the proper methods. So what you will find, King, is that you are going to find things that are not supposed to be mixed together, being mixed together. So for me, I don't think South Africans are poisoning for the sake of maintaining a particular reputation. It's just dangerous manufacturing practices that go unchecked. So those people are, so for me, it's not a South African issue. So I think that's what I wanted to say, is that I don't think that, I definitely do not think 99% of me doesn't think that it's South African. I think it's just illegal manufacturing, and the cross-contamination happens, whether sometimes it can be from retaliation on their side for the tax. It's very, very possible, because people have different levels of vindictiveness. But yeah, it's definitely illegal manufacturing. I think that's it from that point.
Okay. Thanks, Inspiring. Van Persie, do you want to say a few words? If Van Persie is not there, let's go to Kylie then. If Van Persie is not
I'm here.
there.
I'm here. I'm here. I'm here. I'm here. I'm
Okay.
here.
Okay,
here.
okay, go ahead.
Okay. Lastly, the thing I want to say that the problem with us Africans is the mentality syndrome. It is the dependency syndrome. That's it. We need to face the truth. When someone says they love me, we love each other, we need to stop with this fantasy. Let's face the truth. Everyone is here to survive, but some survive at the cost of others. Like for me, I don't hate you all. I don't hate you guys. Those who are coming outside, it's just a general mistrust due to the behavior. I judge a person by how he acts and how he conducts himself to me. So it's just a mistrust. It's just trying to protect myself and those whom I love. But the means are maybe unorthodox, but it's the way we survive. Like I'm a firm believer of it's Guluva for himself, God for us all. But we need to stop living this fantasy and face reality. The world is harsh. The world is what it is. It's gonna beat you down. Thank you very much.
Okay, thanks, Van Persie. Thank you for your contribution. Kylie, over to you. Do you have any few words to say before we end this live?
No, I'll give it to Nobuntu. I'll join a bit later.
I would like to say something. I think my last view will be that the government has to regularize all these things. Everything that is supposed to be of human consumption has to be regular. There have to be regulations or a law that protect the public, and then that will do. I just wanted to say something. I was in another country a few years ago, and I met this lady from Ethiopia. And then she was asking me where I come from, and I said I come from South Africa. I'm surprised with South Africans. She said, my family live in South Africa, and what I'm surprised about South African is that every time anybody come with something to sell, the South Africans will just buy. She said Ethiopian people will go to Johannesburg, buy some stuff in Johannesburg, go to Limpopo and sell things, and then the Limpopo people will just buy. They don't know the Limpopo people will not just take a taxi to Johannesburg to go and buy those things at wholesale price. They buy everything that somebody comes selling. So I think we have that mentality. I think we have to have campaigns like in the townships, like wherever these places. I think there's a few months ago there were other kids who died after eating some biscuits in I don't know if it's Deep Kloof or whatever township in Soweto. So this lady said the South Africans just buy. If somebody comes selling this, they will just buy. They don't even care how much is it, they just buy. We have to stop just buying. We have to teach our children. We have to make an awareness campaigns throughout the areas of concern and say, guys, be careful. Don't just buy everything from the spaza shop and so on. It's not xenophobic when we have a proof of children dying and people getting admitted in hospitals. No, it's just to practice the right thing. I mean, why do we have food regulation? Why? Because everything that we eat has to be regulated. Otherwise, people will go and bring monkey meat and sell. So we need regulation. That's why when you buy the meat, it has to have a stamp to show that it's been checked for any kind of diseases. So we need just to campaign, teach our children not to go to the spaza shop to buy things. They must buy things. I know it's difficult, but let's just try. Okay, that's all.
Okay, thank you. Let's go to the governor's wife.
My heart is still heavy. Hey, you know what? My question still stands. If our government, our president, was able to implement such harsh laws during COVID? Why is he failing us now? Why are we fighting amongst each other now? Like, why? Why? Like, so many spaces, so many things are being said on the radio, on TV, on the news. It reaches his ears. He can read, he can hear, but he just chooses to be mute. Hence why we have so much hate amongst each other, and it is quite sad. You know, some of us do travel, by the way. I can just imagine me traveling to Nigeria or any other African country. How would that make me feel, knowing exactly what is happening home? You know, and these people are quiet. These are the same people that we voted for. And to look back, I still stand on the fact that I really, really think that the government, I'm not blaming whole entirely on the Mzungus because clearly they don't have a hand in this. It's the government, and the government is working hand in hand with the Mzungus. Our billionaires in South Africa's, I'm not going to mention the families' names, but it's the Mzungus. And they are not affected by none of this. You know, let's not call out the local Mzungus, the regular Mzungus, just like you and me. No. Let's look at the higher higher whatever that you guys call it. Let's take it from there. And the government is working directly with those people. They know exactly what they're doing. They know exactly what is going on. And I just feel like looking at this pic, it's with the kids' faces, this is the new apartheid. I'm standing on that. I'm not changing none of that. If COVID was so special, if COVID was really, really special, look at these kids' faces. These kids are gone. I'm trying to compare COVID and these kids. Was COVID really that special? Wow. Can we not be stupid? Can we not be stupid? I'm even scared to travel right now. Like, you know what? Yeah, maybe I'll even stop even like coming on these lives because I mean, there's no solution. Every day is like a video after another video, another African brother mocking a South African brother, a South African sister. No, this is too much. This is a lot. Yeah, that's all I've got to say, guys. Thank you for having me.
Okay, thank you, Governor's wife. And lastly, Kylie, are you there? I believe this is a very interesting topic that we're going to continue, in a few hours, later in the day. Kylie, you just want to
No
add to your
problem.
last submission before we end the live? Thank you.
Can I also
No,
make the last submission?
I'll give it to Nobuntu King. I don't have in my last submission. I'll join the live when you
Okay,
return
okay,
for further
okay, no problem.
engagement.
Let Ubuntu end.
Eh,
Yeah,
King
we
and
end on
everybody.
Ubuntu's submission then.
King and everybody, I would like to encourage you not to stop. I would also like Chris Samuel and others not to stop. Continue to make lives, continue to spread the message. Let every South African know how stupid we are, how weak we are, how ignorant we are. Continue to spread the message. Let each and everyone know. Let it sink in that we are alcoholics, that we are weak, that we are powerless, that we are uneducated. Spread the message. Let everybody know. Let everyone know that we are powerless. We can't do anything. We are people of no action. We are fools. Let everybody know so that we can understand how stupid we are. Tell them that they must continue to give powder to our children. They must continue to unalive us. They must continue to sell powder to us, to human traffic, to organ traffic, to commit identity theft, and to commit fraud. Spread the message. Let each and everyone make a live and tell us so that we can know it can sink in. The message must reach each and every corner of South Africa. Each and every village and each and every child must know
every man, every woman, every adult. We must know how stupid we are for welcoming people into our houses, for going and supporting their businesses, for giving them a livelihood. Spread the message. Go all over the internet. Spread it on Twitter, spread it on YouTube, spread it on TikTok, send WhatsApp messages. Let each and every South African know how stupid they are, how foolish we are. Let each and every South African woman know how useless we are, how much we give of our bodies and our identity and our heritage for a KFC, how we do anything for money, we sleep with anything just because they can give us a bottle of Savannah. Let us know, we need to hear the truth of how our African brothers truly feel about us. Spread the message. Come to each and every live. Tell us how stupid we are. Because we are stupid. We are the ones who allow this to happen. Tell us how them Zungus are using us. We want to know. Tell us that we are stupid. We are foolish. We are useless. Our men are weak. Tell them, tell us, spread the message. Don't stop. Let each and every corner of South Africa know how useless we are, how we do not value our South African identity. Let each and every official at the border who is taking bribes know what it means to take these bribes. Let them know how unpatriotic and divided we are. Tell us, we must know. The truth will set us free. Tell us so that we know we must not play the victims because we are guilty. We are guilty of welcoming people into our country, of supporting their businesses, of treating them like brothers. Spread the message. Let us know. Let the message sink in. Tell us how stupid we are. Thank you so much. May you make the life for the whole day. Invite each and every South African, go to every platform and tell us the truth because it shall set us free. You love us so much that you even tell it to our faces. You love us so much that you even tell us how stupid we are, how our nyash means nothing, how it is just, we can't even wipe it. Go to every platform. Let each and every corner of South Africa know. Let each and every official in government know how stupid we are. We are stupid. We are foolish. That is why we have allowed that we can't even walk in our own
Thank you.
cities.
Thank you, Nobuntu.
Thank you so much. Please continue.
Sorry,
Don't
guys.
stop.
That's
Spread
it
the
for the
message.
live.
Please don't
That's it
stop.
for
Make
this live.
another
We'll
one.
continue in a
Make
few
another
hours because I
live
think
and
this is a
tell
very
us. Thank you so much. Thank you. You are so amazing.
yes. We're definitely going to
Thank
have
you so
another
much.
live, but then on this platform, we're going to be talking about progressive issues, not just the negatives of Africa. We're going to be discussing progressive, issues regarding the continent of Africa. Thank you, guys. Hopefully, I'll catch you guys in a few hours. Probably sometimes in the afternoon, or even maybe 2 hours from now. I'll start another live. Thank you, and I'll see you guys later. Bye for
Please,
now.
thank you. Don't stop. Spread the message. Tell us the truth. Thank you so much, host. Thank you.